Yeah, you don't see the seams.
Are they under?
No, I see it. I see it. I see it.
I see it.
Okay, this is Rahim. He's a craftsman. You're going to see some incredible things that he's done in embellishing mosques. This is just an example of what he's done. So what do you think about this? This is pretty cool, isn't it?
And this is done by a blackfoot 4x8.
This is done with a blackfoot CNC machine, 4x8 routing area, and let go any perceptions you might have for wood, because what you're going to see with this machine and what it can do, it doesn't matter what material you make a machine out of. It's the way you design it, and you can make anything rigid. So this is a pretty cool. He actually uses a router. Look at that. This machine I think he bought from us around 2010. He's still using it. The breadth of work that he's done with this machine is remarkable. If you go to his Facebook page, you can see it's actually on, and he's got this finger right next to it. That's crazy. Or no, he's just taking dust out of the cavity there. But he doesn't have a dust shroud. He doesn't a dust shoe or any way to collect the dust. This place is constantly just like thick in dust. I think he just likes it that way. But the rails are holding up for how many years? It's like 7 years now.
Wow.
The rails are holding up. Everything is just working perfectly. There's no reason why not to design machines the way that we design them at Buildyourcnc, because they hold up for a long time. His first job actually was probably paid for the whole machine. You know, it's crazy. He's probably had hundreds of jobs and doing things around his house too, and he's been able to make this machine hold up, and it holds up quite well, and you're going to see some pretty cool stuff.
Different types of...
Yeah, these are different types of end mills that he uses. You can see that he has some roundovers. He's got different size cutting diameters. He's got some routing bits, the straight style. Most of them look like they're upcut end mills. This is an example of the detailing that he does in some of his work on mosques. The line work is incredible. The amount of work that this machine has to do to get this done is crazy. I mean, this is hours and hours and hours of work. And the machine has to be solid enough, resilient enough to be able to handle work that if you mess up, you've lost a lot of money and time. So, and that machine has done a remarkable job. And this is just an example, a little bit of an example. Now here's a close-up of something more detailed. Look at the amount of pocketing. All the crisscross lines, the rat nets you see, is just traveling. Yeah, they're rapids. They're just like jogging from one place to another. The other lines you see, the blue and the green, those are pocketing mainly. And there are probably some finishing passes in there that are hugging the lines. It's got to be, I can't even imagine. It's got to be like a half of a day to do an entire, just one of these sheets.
Yeah.
Cam, it probably takes a lot longer actually.
Yeah.
He probably spends a lot of time. He tells me he doesn't spend that much time on it. But it looks like it's, maybe he doesn't.
Maybe he has some sort of a nesting process.
Yeah.
Where he does the one section and he just duplicates that section.
Yeah, I think he does actually do that.
You know,
now this is the router going into some of the work and actually doing some routing, and you can see that there's a few layers here actually that's being cut. I don't know if he's glued that prior or not, because it looks like it's two different colors of wood. So I think what he did is he laminated them. I don't know. It doesn't look like, no, because it looks like, no, it actually is the color of the wood, because you can see on some parts of it doesn't have that color. And this is some routing of some detailing. You can see the detailing is in the...
It's crazy that a router can do that.
Yeah, well, the router is pretty much the same thing as the spindle, but the spindle is quieter, but the router has to take a lot of damage. I mean, it has to do a lot of work. I probably wouldn't put a router to these tasks.
I wouldn't either.
You know, because there's just so much work, but I'm sure he's replaced his router several times. If he hasn't, then I want to know what he's doing to keep his routers running.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because it takes... Yeah, routers, I mean, for us, they don't last half of a year. And our spindles have lasted like 4 years. 4 years. 4 years so far, yeah. I don't think he's ever replaced any parts of these machines.
I did notice the C-plate looked a little off. I don't know if there's something that you had a while back, but the C-plate on the Y and
oh yeah, no, that's a different design.
So you had that.
Yeah, he had the very first version of this machine.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's still going today.
And it's still going. It's still going today. This is an example of his. I guess he's clamping some pieces together, gluing some pieces together to form. It looks like probably a window or some kind of frame of some sort with a classical Arabic design within. All of his stuff, all of his work has been based on classical Arabic designs. Classical meaning historical. He studies all of the pointed stars, what they mean, all of the angles. Everything is very precise for what he does, and because he wants to match the craftsmanship they did in history, but also the meaning of the craftsmanship from history and what they did in mosques hundreds of years back. I actually don't know how far it goes back, but he's actually let me borrow a book that has this geometry in it. This is a pretty cool piece. The colors are very vivid, bright.
Just the amount of detail is crazy enough.
What he does is he actually has several layers. You can see the very top layer is like a screen, and he puts that on top of a layer that he's painted previously to make sure that those particular colors come through correctly. So the screen can actually cover up some mistakes.
True.
And it's a really good technique. And you can see the outer frame was done also with the CNC machine. And it looks like he used probably a veneer of some sort. Okay, so here we are coming to the mosque that he was generous enough to allow us in and
Look at that door.
show us around. One of the mosques that he's embellished. Wow. These were actually done in Mexico, and this, he had the design. He designed it, but he had to send the design out to Mexico, and it cost for the installation and everything, all the fabrication installation was $26,000.
Wow.
But he makes much more interesting things for a lot less money because of a 4x8 CNC machine. In mosques, we have to take our shoes off. We have to walk around with our either bare feet or socks on.
Yeah, we
and
try
me,
to be respectful.
you know, I'm thinking I'm just going to bring my coffee out there. Yeah, these people were great though. I mean, they were very welcoming.
Yeah,
you can see some of the pieces right there. Yeah, that's pretty much anything you can see that's embellished in here is done by the CNC machine.
And that's some part of the cam that you saw earlier on the video. That's part of it. That's essentially how it looks.
And this is, but you have to take this in and understand that this is only a 4x8 CNC machine making this contiguous design.
Yeah, that which was pretty.
Yeah, I mean the design is huge.
Amazing.
Yes, this is calligraphy. It reads, you know, la 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 la. This is arabesque and this is geometric. So Islamic art is scene. Yeah, you don't see the scenes.
Are they under?
No, I see it. I see it. So there's probably a seam over here.
Yeah, you have to get right on it.
And then there's, you can't see. There's a seam right here. Right here, there's a seam. This is a seam.
Oh, so you did it like...
Okay, so I was wrong.
So you were wrong.
I was absolutely wrong.
The joints are actually in the engraving.
That's smart.
That's a good idea.
This piece, this big art piece, you have to have joints, you know. So now they're like opening and closing and stuff, but it's okay.
To look at the, try to find the seams where the things match against each other. Because obviously, you know, it's a 4x8 machine.
Yeah, he put us to the task here. He said, all right, so find the seam. Find the seam. Well, we couldn't find the seam. And the seam is actually where he's running his finger. He actually made the seam a part of the design. So when you put it together like a puzzle, you cannot see where it starts and where it ends. They let me up there. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, the guy kind of had a look on his face, but I was like, oh.
There, going up. Look at the detail here.
It's truly breathtaking.
And by the way, this is not his actual job, if you will.
That's actually a good thing to say.
So you gotta keep that in mind.
Yeah, he doesn't do architectural, and he wasn't trained as an architect. He was trained as an engineer for the oil industry. You can see that there's multiple layers to this. Not layers as in laminated, glued together, but layering of machining work to provide the experience and the three-dimensionality that you see.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful
room. Look at the ceiling. That was done. He was asking us to guess how long it took to get that done, but he wasn't very specific. That's a beautiful chandelier too.
Those columns right there.
Yeah,
in the window.
The columns are just screens. They are so beautiful. And he's using the same. He's got 5 pointed stars. Then he has those multiple pointed stars, and they all work together to create that design.
This is really, really cool to see, you know, what people make.
What's the frequency? Like weekends or every day? Weekends, yeah. So 4 months, weekends? That's a month.
That's a lot of work.
That's less than a month.
Yeah. But once you have the design and the drawing in place, then it doesn't take long. The hardest part is to get the whole 3D thing figured out in your head.
Yeah, yeah.
Because normally you see everything is flows and there's no gaps, you know, and where one thing ends, the next thing starts.
The construction progress. It's like he was looking at probably making measurements for the first time, so he can apply the work correctly. You can see the pointed arch, and there was a stairway and stuff in the back to get up into the I don't know if they call it pulpit or they call it something else in the mosque. This is looking at putting together the puzzle pieces of the frame of the arch and keeping all this stuff together in the right way. I don't know if you really need to, because in general I think most of the parts are probably just repeated, but it might actually spell something out. I think he told us that it actually spells something out, or those might be like sort of blocky Arabic lettering.
Yeah, I'm not quite.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it could be though. But I mean, if it is, he did a wonderful job of integrating that type of aspect to the design. You can see that they're just building the little niche there. I keep wanting to say pulpit, but I'm not sure if it's called that.
Right. What do you call it?
Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to get a comment that says this is the right word for it.
And we'll welcome those comments.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is not something we.
Please tell us. Yeah. Please tell us what this is called.
But we are essentially looking at what the potential of 4x8 machine can do. I mean, look at the size of this.
Just the possibilities are endless.
Yes, exactly.
And you could make something like this. You could do something twice, 3 times, 4 times as large. You know.
Exactly.
It just learning the right way to seam and making sure that you have everything geometrically understood while you're designing it.
Correct.
You know, and you can do that in CAD too. I mean, in CAD you can draw the entire thing, and then what you can do is you can break it up after that. But then you have to make sure to label everything where they go. If you look at his Facebook page, which I'll have a link in the description, and also there's a link on his page in BuildYourCNC, and I'll have a link to that as well. You know, when you go to a Facebook page, you can keep scrolling. You can keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling of images. Some of them are repeated, but they're just different angles of certain pieces. But if you keep scrolling down, there's so many different projects that he's done. And I just don't know how he's able to design boats and oil rigs and then do this on the side as just a hobby. But he doesn't do it for free. I mean, he does make money on it.
There's a lot of work.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of work, but I mean, even you have to have the knowledge to be able to do this too. You know, it's not that hard to machine stuff like this, but you have to have a certain level of knowledge to be able to get this level of work done.
Oh yeah.
I mean, making cabinets, yeah, that takes a lot of skill. But when it comes to a CNC machine, it really is something that you can learn to do pretty quickly. But I think you could probably learn to do this relatively quickly. But I think it's more complex, and I think traditional CAD may be something you really need to understand for this level of work. I don't want to make it sound too difficult to get into this, but it's perfectly centered.
Yes.
Look at here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
With there, it's exact.
Right.
You know, for this particular level, you want to do your homework before you start doing these kinds of things. So how would you get into this? You would definitely have to learn AutoCAD or one of those types of programs. AutoCAD is probably one of the better programs to do this type of work, because it is a 2D geometric style CAD program. There's a lot of lines. And there's also a lot of repetition, so you have to know how to make those lines correctly, how to use lines in a way that, sometimes I look at CAD and you can think of it as actually doing math sometimes, because you can find lengths of lines from the radii of circles, and you can find where certain things should meet because of circles, putting circles in there. And I think I've shown you that, shown Juan that, because we don't have some of those things in CAM. Like CAM-BAM, you can draw circles and things, and you can achieve the same thing, but just with a longer, it's just harder to do. But you have lots of resources at your fingertips, like circles and lines, and circles are a really huge way of getting a line to be a specific length at any angle.
Correct.
and obviously rotation too. But CAD is a good is really necessary for this type of work. Then CAM obviously is too, and Kanban works really well. And he uses Kanban. He doesn't use other CAM programs except for just Kanban. And he takes the AutoCAD straight to Kanban, and he applies his machining operations right into the Kanban program from the line work he does in AutoCAD. And then he just takes that and he downloads the G code from Kanban and puts it into his machine, and he processes it. We're constantly looking up. I mean, our necks are probably gonna hurt after this place. There's a lot to look at. If you look at this place, do you look at the overall form architecture, or are your eyes drawn to the craftsman's parts of it, like the design? Obviously, it's, your eyes don't look at like a column we just saw right there. Did you care about the column? It's just like there, right?
Correct.
But it was there for a reason. Obviously, architects needed to put it there to keep the balcony up. And to compute the length of that, like the circumference.
2 pi r.
Right. No, I know, but I mean, this is reality, right?
Yes. Moment of truth when the two ends come in the end and it
Where's the
meets.
two ends? Can you tell me?
Can you tell me where it meets? Do you see a gap? Or? Because it will be very obvious if they did not meet correctly.
If we had a scissor lift, we could see it.
No, what I did was I had a laser thingy, and I lined up the vertical on the bottom here. I lined the laser down, and I got my 2 points. I measured the diameter.
Right.
Then I did it at like 5 different points.
So you did an average of it?
I did the average of the diameters, came
Diameters?
up with it, and then
Yeah.
yes, you can see right there.
Were you shorter or a little bit
I was
longer?
A little bit longer.
Longer.
1/4 inch longer.
Oh, so that you could just shave off a little bit, and
Yes.
it's almost as seamless.
You see this one here?
Oh, I see it. Man, that's
Yeah, I see
tiny.
it. Oh, come on.
Man.
That's imperceptible.
Yes. So I put it over here because not many people will be looking from this way. Most people will be looking this way.
Right.
You have
So
to have a float, dimensions float in one way.
Yeah. You're doing this when
Yes.
you're only doing this.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
you've got a lot of play.
Yeah. I could have made it a little bit bigger, but then I was also watching my material, right? So if I went over 2 feet, right, width, then my material consumption would be twice or 1/3 more. Because if I'm less than 2 feet, then I can cut 2 runs in the same sheet. But if I'm like 25 inches, then I can only cut 1 run in one sheet.
Material.
Then I will have a lot of wastage.
Right.
So I kept it within 2 feet, right? So I can cut 2 runs in 4x8.
All made with a single 4x8 machine you bought in like what, 2012?
Yeah.
Was it 2012?
2010? 10.
Yeah, 2010. He's had it for 6 years. And he's been doing mosques and all kinds of embellishments for homes and amazing things.
Thank you.
And it's still the same structure, right?
Same structure.
No replacements?
You haven't worn your rail out yet?
No, they're actually very milled down.
Yeah, but it still works.
It's actually
Yeah.
stronger.
It's stronger,
Yeah, because it's like,
The work hardening effect, yeah.
Work hardening. The colors are really good too. Yeah, all neutral colors.
Yeah.
Is that important?
You want the place to be not overwhelming.
Yeah.
You
So
want it
there's
to
not
be-
a religious reason for colors or
Aesthetics.
No.
You want the emphasis to be on why they're here rather than...
Yeah, but it has to be peace,
Right.
place of worship. Bring calm,
You know, we designed a metal CNC machine because of perception, because we felt that people perceive wooden machines maybe not being capable enough to do certain tasks. And I was right before I designed the machine, I wanted to sort of do a little competition between the metal machine and the wooden machine to see which one's better. So far, we haven't seen any difference
No.
in our work.
Yes. That's
You know,
right.
the metal machine is more expensive. It might last longer.
Yeah, that'll be the other thing.
Yeah,
that,
it might last longer. You might have to do less maintenance or less adjustments to it. Okay, so in this part of the video, I would like to show you some of the other works that he's done with the blackFoot 4x8 CNC machine from Buildyourcnc.com. You can see that looks like this one wasn't applied in layers. It was cut and then he painted it, painstakingly painted it. That's what it looks like. If he actually did make the layers, he did a darn good job, because I can't see any.
I'll tell you otherwise.
Yeah, I can't see where it was like applied, like another. Like He it doesn't look like he laminated a screen on top of like something that was painted behind it. Although he could have. The paint that looks like he's just tinted, or
Stain?
it looks like he was using stain of different colors. So he could have taken a different color and then added some clear into that to create, or thinned it out at least. This is his two kids, his two children, and he made this princess or queen carrier. It's beautiful. This is an example of what somebody with a machine could make. Things like this.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be grand. It could be small, you know, with some really intricate details.
Yeah.
Here's another piece that he did for, I think it was some kind of installation of some event that he, looks like he put some screens together in like a cubish fashion, a rectangularish cubish fashion. Looks nice. The screening work, you can tell he has a good expertise on how to make screens. He knows how to do that. As long as you're working with the correct feed speeds and probably using a downshare bit to keep the screen material down. Because if you use an upcut, it's going to pop up at you and vibrate. But if you use a downshare or downcut, it'll stay down on the table. And that's one of the reasons why you get a downcut, is to maintain stability of the thinner material, keeping it fastened or keeping it secure to the CNC table. And you would not, I don't think you would be able to use a vacuum table for this kind of work.
Oh.
It would have to be something secured and using a downcut.
That'll be interesting to know how he's actually doing it.
Well, we saw it. It was just. I think he uses these little nails, just like finishing nails, and he just nails it down to the table, and he pries it up.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
Now this is a ceiling that he did. It's I think it's at his house. But it is an optical illusion. Those are actually geometric shapes stuck onto the ceiling, not the lines between the geometrical shapes, because the lines between it is just the ceiling. Could you tell that?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
You could tell that?
Yeah, I could tell that. It's
Yeah.
pretty much.
Oh, but what if
open.
what if the light was coming from the other direction?
Then
That
you
was a
can't
shadow?
really tell.
To me, it looks like it's all framed and the colors behind it, but it actually is the reverse, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
He would have to have put the frame up there so he could
Piece by piece, right?
put them in there correctly, and I think I have a picture of that. Yeah, there we go. So you can see the frame is up there, and then he just takes the frame down once he's put the pieces inside.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
And you could put this frame, you could use a frame somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know?
So, well, yeah, you utilize it for
Uh-huh.
that could be your stencil if you will.
This actually, maybe he made this for a mosque, and he wanted to put something on his ceiling that was using this piece in some way. And these are probably the pieces that were ejected from the machine.
The negatives.
The negative, yeah. That's what it looks like to me. And what he did is I think he may have put a fabric to these negatives
Around, yeah.
to create the beautiful colors. And here is, it looks like it's where it's used.
Yeah, that's.
And yeah, this is the one that's used in the mosque. But this is not what I want to show in this picture. It's all of it. The dark wooden part in the background, you're going to see a close-up of that. And you can see the Arabic lettering on the sides. We actually did some lettering for him with the laser
That's
on
one of
our machines.
greenBull.
Yeah, the greenBull with the laser on it. We cut out some of this type of lettering. And here, as you can see, a different ceiling.
Medallion.
I think this is, yeah, medallion. I wonder if this is in a different part of the mosque, because it looks identical to the other picture.
I believe maybe there's some sort of a, like you go to a, let's say, Catholic church and you see the architecture.
Yeah.
Architecture kind of looks the same, so I'm assuming maybe that's the same.
Maybe this is a different. You're saying this is a different mosque, because I looked at the two pictures back and forth while I was making this video. All of the windows are perfectly the same.
That is what I'm saying. That maybe there's some sort of a rule
standard.
Or,
Okay.
Or,
Here's
wow, that looks awesome.
the intricacy of that particular piece for the arch, and that's incredible right there. I mean, probably stained it, but he's done a remarkable job with the geometry. This doesn't use the pointed stars in the main part of it, but he does in the screen part. But it looks like he uses more of a geometric, rectilinear or orthographic type of geometry. This is in his house, and this is these are some screens that he put on his windows. The house without those screens, it's just windows.
Mm-hmm.
When you put screens on there, look at the shadow, how the sun creates a shadow inside your house, and how it moves throughout the house during the day.
It's pretty cool.
It is incredible.
That is really cool.
And this is the piece that you saw in the beginning. This is a piece that I was helping him put together. I gave him a slight helping hand with Here's another piece. I thought this is one of the coolest things.
That is really cool.
Yeah, you can see something beyond. It looks like it's held up by the screen, by the wood, but you can see something beyond that acts as the structure, obviously, because you need that for all the material you'd have to put into the fire, but those stones and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the screening around it gives it a lightness, and it's really beautiful.
It's really cool.
This is a medallion he's putting up. Beautiful medallion. I think I have a close-up coming up, but this is what it takes. So I guess put these medallions up. I mean, you have to have a
Skyjack.
yeah, have to have a you call it, is what you call it?
Skyjack.
You have to have a skyjack to put these medallions up, obviously, because these ceilings are so high. Here's a close-up of it. Putting this thing up correctly,
Perfectly is
yeah,
a challenge on
it's
its
gotta
own.
be. It's gotta be a challenge.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that thing looks awesome.
It's incredible. Well, I hope you enjoyed the embellishing of the mosque by Rahim Akbar. Please check out his Facebook page in the link below, and check out the page that we have on the Build Your CNC, where he actually has a little bit of narrative there, and I've applied some narrative to talk about what he does and his passion for this architecture.
Yeah.
If you have purchased a machine from us, or you plan on purchasing a machine from us, we would love to show off whatever you do on our website, and we will provide links back to your business from our website. So please consider sharing what you guys do with us. Video is the best form that we like, obviously. We want to see all the wonderful creations that our customers have provided over the years. And if we are able to get some videos to us from our customers and our potential future customers, this could be something that we do often.
Yes, the only thing
Yeah.
you have to provide to us will be some sort of a footage or images
Yeah.
that you will be willing to share, and maybe you could be one of our topics on our next video.
Yeah. If you have content that you don't want to share, but there are parts of the content that you don't mind sharing, that would be also acceptable. We don't really need to know exactly what you're making for non-disclosure. If there's some parts of the projects or other projects that you do can be public, please let us know. We will post these videos on our website at buildyourcnc.com in the gallery area, and we will provide a link back to your business, so it will be helpful to you as well.